Hi guys, how are you? Okay, so this video will be a segment that has to do with the new moon eclipse that is tomorrow, August 11th at 5:58 a.m. at 18 degrees and 42 minutes of Leo, okay? The new moon partial solar eclipse. And this is for the effects on the rising signs of Leo, Virgo, Libra, and Scorpio. All right, first and foremost, before I continue, I want to let you guys know to make sure that when you are following these horoscopes, to go ahead and look at your chart at where exactly 18 degrees and 42 minutes of Leo falls, okay? It is very important to do this because I am an Aquarius rising, and although I am last month on July 27th eclipse, although Aquarius was affected by the first house was affected for the Aquarius ascendants, I had mine affecting in the my 12th house was affected, okay? Because depending on where your ascendant starts depends on like exactly how your entire map is set up. So it's very important to understand that. If you guys need any help with confirming, please message me personally or email me at sukiheals@gmail.com for confirmation, okay? So let's start to talk about Leo first, all right? So Leo will be affected overall just for the fact that, number one, it is a fixed sign, all right? I should have also mentioned that about Taurus as well. Taurus is will be affected as well because of the fact that Taurus is a fixed sign, all right? So all the fixed signs will be affected heavily. So that will be Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius. All right, so Leo is going to be affected on just for the fact that it's the sun that's shining on it. So it's going to be really a lot of energy coming towards a Leo ascendant, okay? A lot of energy coming towards a Leo ascendant. And interesting enough, it's in the first house. So this might cause some changes with physical appearance, the physical body, or the self-image. All right, that's like the main thing. All right, so you might get like a haircut, you might get some tattoos, you might dye your hair, all right? Things like that. You might get some hair added. You might start working on your body. Maybe you want to make, I don't know, you want to have more abs, or maybe you want a bigger butt, okay? So you're going to start doing those things. But again, I would more so say that this would have to do with fast experiences on this, all right? So this is somebody that might go ahead and get some kind of Botox or some kind of cosmetic enhancement, so that way it's quick and easy, or something that they can have that changes their appearance overnight, all right? This could be as simple as even getting color contacts. Maybe you want a different eye color, okay? It could be that as well as heightened energy in the focus. Because first house, it rules the mind, the physical mind, right? Where fourth house rules the emotional mind. It rules what you call home, who you are at night, your private life. The first house is more focused on the actual brain. So it's where your focus is going towards. So this is going to create some new beginnings in those areas. What is your focus? Is your focus on something that it shouldn't necessarily be on, or is your focus on something that's going to actually help you in the future to get where you need to go in your life? So it's very important for you to understand with that. On top of that, the first house, so the first house has to do with the physical body, so it could cause some new beginnings with that as well, in the sense of like, there might be some issues with the physical body that you have to take care of. There might be some new findings in the physical body that you really need to go to the doctor about, or something like that, okay? And also how you appear to other people. You might get some focus on that. You might actually fall for other people's perceptions of who you are quicker than you've ever have. So it's good to keep that under wraps, you understand that, because that way you're able to kind of decipher if what they're saying is because that's how you really are, or if it's because you're in a state of vulnerability when it comes to how other people view you at this point. All right, so that would be the Leo. Now we have Virgo. Okay, so Virgo ascendants, Virgo rising. So you will be affected in your 12th house. So 12th house is major, because 12th house is all about the house of subconscious. So 12th house really has to do with what you're thinking away from everybody else. It's your deep inner thoughts, and even in some ways your hidden thoughts, like that's you way past your unconscious, because now it's tapping into the higher realms of who you are. Okay, so this is even going to tap into some dreams. You might actually go through some areas in the next 6 months, some time frames where you might be very keen to your dreams, very open, wide open to your dreams. You might have some new experiences that are reflected from your dreams, or maybe you might see your experiences that might happen within the next week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks or a couple months from now within your dreams now, all right, because it really taps into the dream world. This could create also some new experiences as far as letting go of anything in the past that is harboring you at this point. So you might actually might want to refrain from society right now, and might want to go off into a quiet corner and do some self-reflection. Also seek some therapy. Now I just went through this, so I want to let you guys know, and this is so like honest of me to tell you this, but I'd rather tell you this. I just had my full moon, I just had the full moon in my 12th house of subconscious, and that was the endings of things that were holding me down from my, what was in my past. Having new beginnings in this area is probably a lot more lighter, but what I would say is it's definitely going to stimulate you to have thoughts that you might want to get out in therapy. I am very lucky to have the friends that I do that let me talk for however long I need to talk to get things out, and then have some feedback for me, but some people aren't as lucky, and I would rather you guys go ahead and seek professional help than to let it all harbor inside of you, because that's not healthy at all. And that could cause more issues and new beginnings to starting some infections mentally that you don't really necessarily want for yourself. Nobody wants that, okay? There could be some new addictions as well, because 12th house has to do with addictions. And when I say new addictions, it doesn't always have to be addictions are not good. But it doesn't have to be like as bad as like alcohol or drugs. It could be maybe you start getting into like video games or something, and this is your new addiction. Either way, I will tell you that addictions are usually there to cover something else that needs to be brought to light. It's an obsession with something to the point where it's like it's distracting you from other areas of your life. So you really need to go ahead and figure out what is it that's harboring these feelings to make you feel like you need to become an addict to something else to take you away from that, okay? So be careful with that too. And also 12th house has to do with spiritual health, okay? This is the most beautiful part of this house, okay? Has to do with spirituality. It's traditionally governed by Pisces, okay? So this has to do with spirit, all right? This is an opportunity for you to have some new beginnings into really emerging yourself with spirit, emerging yourself with who you are deep down, and emerging yourself with your angels around you, with God, with the universe, okay? This is your time to really have some new beginnings when it comes to that. And this also, because it represents institutions, might help you find an institution that teaches what you are looking for, okay? So this could be you getting involved in a temple. This could be a new church, okay? This could be a new, even though 11th house is more so like networks and organizations, but this can more so still represent that if it brings you to an understanding of subconsciousness, I could say. But again, you probably want to stay away from a lot of people at this point and take like the backseat from this, because you're going to be going through a lot of things in your mind. But I would definitely say still make time for friends and family. Still, get away from your thoughts for a second, because if you get too consumed into your thoughts, that's also not really supporting an even balance that you need to be able to declutter everything going on in there, okay? So that would be 12th. Yes. Oh, and also it's a new beginning to overcome traumas as well, right? Because it's hidden things that's in the 12th house. Alrighty. Okay, so that's for 12th house, so that's Virgo. All right, and then we have Libra. So Libra is in the 11th house. 11th house is traditionally ruled by Aquarius. It talks of community. Aquarius is governed by Uranus and governed by Saturn as well in traditional astrology, in Vedic astrology. So this more so is new beginnings in the area of rebellion against conformity. Okay? This is being different, divergent, right? Divergence is a beautiful thing. This is also giving some new beginnings in your networks or organizations or even new friendships that present new ideas, new organizations that present new ideas, okay? New institutions that present new ideas as well. So this is all in support for that, all right? It also might make you involved in protests or things towards helping your community. So if the community is standing together in something, this is the perfect opportunity for you to take some new stances with this, all right? Also, like I said before, open to new experiences and new ideas. And then 11th house also has to do with your elder siblings. So with this could also rekindle some elder sibling relationship here. You might not necessarily speak to your elder sibling anymore for some reason, or maybe they were distanced from you for some reason, or maybe you find your elder sibling. Maybe you guys were separated at birth, or there was an adoption or something of some sort. So this might be a rekindled situation or a new beginning or a new experience and a reconnection with your elder sibling. You might also spend some time with them too, a lot more times with your elder siblings during this time as well. All right, again, I mentioned in the last video that although that this energy is an energy that will last for 6 months, okay, and some people might say, oh, I don't really feel it, it wasn't that much of an impact. Keep in mind, this is a partial solar eclipse, okay? So this has the same amount of energy that the July 12th solar eclipse has. So if you put two of those energies together, they most likely have the power of the same energy that was given. I mean, the July 27th was 120 degrees. 120 years it hasn't been that strong. So that's different. But if you put two partial eclipses together, you really see a brand new beginning to something. All right, so just keep that in mind, that it may not be something that's so drastic that you're like, oh my God, but the smallest little change could change so much in your life and you don't even realize it, okay? I mentioned with the Gemini, it was in the 3rd house, I was saying that you could take short distance trips to the beach with your younger sibling, all right? But at the same time, it could create something, a bond that is forgiving for some reason. Maybe something happened, right? So it could be the smallest little thing and it could still trigger something even more powerful. All right, so that is 11th house. That is with the Libra ascendant and Libra rising. So last but not least, we have the Scorpio rising and ascendant, and that's in the 10th house. So 10th house is traditionally ruled by Capricorn, and it has to do with career, public image, public persona, governmental jobs, things like that. Authority, societal title. So you might have a new societal title in your life. You might have a new career advancement. Okay, I have a friend of mine who had a full moon the July 27th in this area in the 10th house, and she ended the want of one job and got promoted to a higher position within the company that she was working with when she was thinking about switching back to her old job. All right, so it's letting something go and having something new come. So that's the perfect example. It's also connection with authority, okay? So this is a new connection with authority. It is totally possible that maybe you are having a new job when it comes to the government section of the fields, right? So maybe you have something with that. Maybe you start working for the government, or you get a new internship or something with working with the government, working in security in government. Anything that has to do with the government, with that can also be some new beginnings as well. That being said too, it can reevaluate how you see authority. right? So this could also have some switches when it comes to who you're looking at as should be in government, who is in control, and if they deserve it, right? That's a main thing too, especially with Pluto being in Capricorn and it's in retrograde. That definitely could tap into that. So that's another thing. There's definitely going to be some long-term professional aspirations that will be affected. So you'll have this is some good energy for that. Some good energy to channel in some intentions, to write down what you're looking forward to with long-term goals in your professional life. Because all of this will kind of allow you to really focus on this. You won't be so distracted by outside energies, and you could really, really, really deliberate over your notes and see what are the proper ways to go to creating this correct avenue to getting your goals fulfilled. Okay? This could also be reconnection to father's lineage, because 10th house has to do with the teachings of father in the 9th house that are publicly personified in the 10th house. So this could be in, let's say for traditional senses, this was the title that the father passed to their seed, right? Passed down their royalties. So because of that, this really has to do with the fact that maybe you might connect with that. You might have not had, most of your life, maybe you were away from your father's side of the family, and this is an opportunity for you to connect with them. This could be a reconnection with your father in general. Now, I know that some people might have some feels about this, but I'll be completely honest, just because if you have, like, let's say your father is not here physically, does not mean that you cannot still connect with him. I connect with my father all the time. I just had a dream about my father, and thank you for so many people liking that status that I wrote, because that was very sweet of all of you. A lot of support, and I really appreciate that. But I connected with my father, and it was the most amazing experience ever. So this could be a new beginning with that. You can build a relationship with your father's energy over the spirit realm, and that's totally possible, or anyone within your father's lineage. So this could be your grandmother from your father's side. This could be your grandfather. This could be anybody that really comes from your father's lineage. You can build that that experience with them on the other side. Okay, so that's Scorpio. All right, so the next one that I have, the last video, would be Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces. All right, so look out for that video, and I will be back.